Corporations don't care about your feelings. They will make decisions to continue to profit. We have to remember that we are a collective. We are part of something bigger than ourselves. And if a group of us is suffering, we are all suffering, right? What are our values? Is the American value that we have this American dream that anyone can make it out on top, that there is a sense of unity? Or is it that we can't have that because it would affect me personally? If you are more concerned with yourself and what is good for you rather than what is good for us, what is good for America, do you have American values? I am angry. I'm angry that our entire system is reliant on giving money to a select group of people, and then those people telling us that, it's that's just how the way that's just the way things are. I'm sorry that your phone is made with child labor, but what do you want me to do about it? Oh, we can't tax billionaires because then they'd all go away and we would have nothing. I call bull on that, dude. If we taxed billionaires and put firmer regulations on corporations for human rights, for human dignity, so that children aren't working somewhere off country out of our sight for our entertainment purposes, right? For our phones, for technology, for things that I am just so angry. And I don't know what to do other than what I'm doing to try to change it, because we have to change legislation. We have to change the priority. We have to change the narrative that these mega corporations and select group of people are more important than we are, dude. We have, when I grew up, I grew up in church, right? I grew up in the time when people were saying community matters, it takes a village and we care. And then it's like it all disappeared. It started to become about what someone else personally needs. You know, if we can't see it, it's not true. Um, no, it's there, right? People just don't want you to see it so they can control you, right? People can't afford housing. There are homeless children in America, and maybe they're not living on the side of the street. A lot of them are. Maybe they're living in a motel, or maybe they have to switch motels, or they're couch surfing between family and friends. Is that a good environment for our future to grow up in? We need to take care of ourselves and each other, right? By taking care of each other, we take care of ourselves. They are convincing you that the American dream is something that it's not, right? That this is the way things are. This is the way things have to be. Billionaires will leave. Okay, let them leave. Then what? How are they going to make money? They're going to make money in other countries? Okay, we have one of the most consumer driven countries, right? We buy. So you're telling me that they're all just going to leave that that cash flow? They're just going to go somewhere else? They rely on us. They make you think that you rely on them, so you don't realize how much power that we have. The rights that we have, we had to fight for. Civil rights, right? The average work week, like basic things that affect everyone, really. Workers' rights, for example. And then they want to come in and erase our history, like we didn't step on Native Americans and kill them to take their land, like we didn't lie to African Americans and conduct medical experiments on them just to see what would happen. That's something that happened. That the CIA They didn't. The CIA didn't do experiments on us. Don't think about that. We are more. Okay, America is supposed to be, we're supposed to be striding towards something great and something beautiful, and ever continuously working on being the best, right? The moment we believe that we are already the best and we stop and we this is just the way things are, we're no longer the best, right? Being the best, you don't just become the best and stay the best. It's constant work. You have to work for it. So start working for it. Change the narrative. They convinced you that politics doesn't matter, that nothing you do matters, that nothing will ever change. I say, forget that. Use your vote. And systemic change is not going to come from corporate and establishment Democrats who care about billionaires and corporations' profits over, general human equity and general human rights. The way that we're treating illegal immigrants is horrible, right? We're sending them to detention camps. And a lot of them aren't even illegals or the people that they tell you that they are, right? There's been American citizens killed, American citizens jailed, terrible conditions, right? Alligator Alligator Alcatraz just closed. Great, but do you remember what they were doing to the people in there? The conditions that they were in? Are we talking about that? Or are we just talking about, yay, victory, we closed it? Is it a victory if we are allowed to continue to put people in those conditions throughout the country? Maybe it's not in Alligator Alcatraz, but where do those people go? They were transferred, they were deported, and what are their conditions now? And they tell you vote with your wallet, right? Your wallet has limited options. Okay, a lot of times the corporations who tell you they are 100% um, natural or recycled or whatever, they just lie to you, or developments get these great deals and then they build a little fake lake to make up for the environmental impact and they call that good. And it's just so ridiculous, dude. And I'm sorry if you are an older American and you are angry and you're scared and you don't want to see change because you're worried about what will happen to you. I am sorry that the America you grew up in has let you down. I'm sorry that they put you in this position. And I promise you, too, I'm going to do the best that I can for you, too, because I think everyone deserves safety and protection and the right to thrive. Even you. What I don't believe in is allowing this corporate driven America to continue and to harm not only us, but the world, really. I don't want to grow up and be a 70-year-old living in these conditions, having paid into a social security system that is going to run out in 6 years, or they keep pushing the number off. And they're not finding solutions. They're just finding ways to maintain their own wealth and stability because they are scared. Think about our future. Think about our children, our grandchildren. What kind of America do we want them to grow up in? And let's say you agree with the way that current things are with the current politics, right? You think that we should be this way towards certain groups of people. You should be afraid too. If you believe that you are going to stay in power forever, you're just wrong, right? So let's say you put all this in legislation, and then someone you don't agree with takes power, and then they say, "Hey, you know what? Actually, you suck, and you're going to go to detention camps, actually, and you're going to be considered a national terrorist." For thinking the way that you do, even though you don't threaten violence, you just think, maybe the way that things are isn't great. America is more than this. We are. We can be. I know we are. We we were built, we were told the American dream, it's obtainable, and we are silenced and we are bought and controlled, and it's not freedom. This is not what freedom is. We do not have options. We have limited options, and we are told to use our wallet to make our voice heard when our wallet has limited options. It is time for a change. We are seeing that, but I need you to look in District 12 specifically, look at the candidates, and you tell me if the Republican candidate or the Democratic candidates are going to change or fight for the change of our system itself, the systemic system, right? Built on inequality, racism, bigotry, privilege. Are we going to accept that? Or are we going to change? And I am not sitting here calling for violence. I'm not sitting here saying that we need to completely overturn our entire way of life. I'm saying we need to strengthen our democracy, and we need to ensure that everyone pays their fair share, billionaires, trillionaires too. And you might think because you did it, we can do it too. You grew up in a very different America, and you have been convinced by media owned by what, like 5 people, that the way that they think is correct without ever questioning yourself or the narrative. The establishment system, the mega corporations are not on your side. They're on their own side to make profit. And they want to convince you that that is okay and that is the way that things are. But sometimes there are bigger things than profit. Human rights are bigger than profit, right? We didn't want children working in mines in America. We fought for that, but we're going to allow our corporations here to thrive and to use exploited labor. We're going to allow the detention of people and not give them due process, even though we were built on due process. It is time for change, and I hope that you join me for change. I'm not going to get, a bunch of TV ads or a bunch of mailers like my competition is, because I don't have that mega corporation backing that the two parties do. I'm just a dude who is looking around and seeing the system, and it's wrong. I don't want my kids to grow up and not have the opportunity. Hell, I don't have a lot of opportunity that my parents or grandparents did. It's time for change. Get on board.